This episode of Calgary Basement Sessions is sponsored by Cornerstone Music Cafe.
For more information on Cornerstone, visit cornerstonemusic.ca. Hey, welcome to Calgary Basement Sessions. I'm Ben Price.
And I'm Ben Montgomery.
And today we're talking to 0Stella. One name, like Cher. Sick. 0Stella is the solo project of Edmonton-based Irish-Canadian artist Liz Pomeroy. Ruthlessly authentic alt-rock blends with traditional Irish fiddle to create catchy pop melodies with off-political charged lyrics drenched in irony and rebelliousness. Reminiscent of Garbage, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, St. Vincent, PJ Harvey, and the Frames, 0Stella's music is both socially conscious and confessional. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for being here. Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, we appreciate you coming down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the way from Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just Calgary this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just Calgary this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you message us saying, I'm just leaving, we're like, Christ.
Oh.
She's never going to make it. Never going to make it. She's going to be late. Always late. We should have told her it started at 4 o'clock this morning.
That is true. Most of my friends generally have that tact
Yeah.
with me.
We're doing it at 5:30. I'll be there at 8.
Yeah.
Perfect. We'll see you then. Amazing. So you're based in Edmonton, but you live in Calgary as well. You sort of like go between the two, yeah?
I do, yeah. I'm based in Edmonton, but I was living in Calgary before I moved up there.
Okay.
And I do a lot of work with Girls Rock Camp Calgary here with Misha and the Spanks and a few other girls. So I come down for that, and half my family's down here, and I've got a bunch of singing students down here. So I'm 50-50 down here half the time kind of thing. But I live in Edmonton. Edmonton's my home.
Wow.
Okay.
So that's a long commute.
Yeah.
Work,
Depends on how heavy your foot is.
Yeah.
But generally, we'll
That's
say
a dangerous
3
stretch
hours.
of highway.
It's horrendous.
Yeah.
I almost died 2 days ago on the highway. I ran up there for to do the Kaleido Fest preview for their festival up there.
Wow.
And I was driving back down to Calgary, and a guy was in the slow lane, and he curved hard across into the fast lane, down into the ditch in the median, between both lanes, drove along it, up out of it, and then back out, took the off ramp.
What? Weird.
What did I just watch?
Going on? Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
the amount
insane.
of
And then I drove by 2 motorbikes in the same journey, 20 minutes later, drove by 2 motorbikes. And the one guy, you could see him as you were coming up to pass him out, just stretching out one hand, stretching out the other hand, both hands off the...
And
it's like...
legs.
Yeah, practically. And it was Friday evening QE2 traffic. It was busy.
Yeah.
And everyone was just inching by, waiting for a gust of wind to send them under their car.
Yeah.
I drove by him. He had both hands sitting on the petrol tank, just hands free, driving along his motorbike.
What a guy.
Insane.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's
Classic.
That's how you do
model
it.
driver.
That's how you do it.
Young drivers out there, take note.
Take
That's
a
how you
lesson.
drive. You don't drive with any hands. You just drive with your hands just on the petrol tank. Yeah.
Crazy.
Perfect.
Just lead it with your groin.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Yeah.
Keep on rocking. Let the pelvis do the talking.
Exactly.
Okay.
I bet when he lifts off his shirt, it's an awesome 6-pack. Just washes his clothes with it. It's yeah.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Hangs it on the back of the bike to dry. It's a whole system in one.
Just
You've
lives
done
on
your
his
laundry
bike.
by the time you get to Calgary.
I love it. I love it. So the program that you're in, do you know Lisette Xavier?
I do.
Yeah, because she's in the same program that you do.
That's right. Yeah. She and I did our first radio show together up in Edmonton 2 years ago. And we did a little mini tour. Yeah, she's good
Wow.
stuff. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
It's a small world.
Yeah.
It's a very small
Well,
world.
the
Yeah.
music community.
Music community. Yeah.
Southern Alberta.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess Northern Alberta and Edmonton. But
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. I've never actually been to Edmonton.
What?
I've never been to
How
Edmonton.
long have you been living here?
About a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'll give it to you. So.
Yeah. I've been to BC. We went to Vancouver.
Oh.
I've been to Toronto, but I've never been to Edmonton. You know.
Okay, now you need to get to Edmonton.
Yeah,
You can't say those 2 cities and just be but the capital of Alberta. Meh.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
You would have come this summer had Fringe happen.
Yes, that's correct.
Sad, right?
Fringe. in Edinburgh, though. Can we talk about that, please?
Yes.
I lived so this is the thing, right? I was meant to live in Glasgow for summer when I was in uni in Dublin.
All right. Oh.
And then we went there for a couple of days, and then plans changed. And we went out to Edinburgh instead. I also met a boy in my hostel, and he convinced me to stay in Edinburgh. But I got a job.
Scottish lads. What are they like?
I know. And like everyone, it's so funny because like everyone turns around to me over here and they're like, oh, I'd love to have an Irish accent. I'm like looking at every Scot that walks by. I'm like, I'll have that, thanks. Whatever.
See that kilt? I'll have that. Eh?
But it was great though. Oh man, like it was my first restaurant job. First time like living abroad.
What
It's Edinburgh, and during the Fringe Festival. It was great.
What restaurant did you work at?
Creelers. Just on Hunter Square, right off the Royal Mile there.
No way.
Yeah.
That is so weird.
Why?
Is it?
That is weird because because Shelby, my girlfriend, and her friend Rebecca, I took them over to Edinburgh.
Our
and
other roommate.
Yeah, our roommate. Yeah. Took them over to Edinburgh during the Fringe and stuff like that. And of course, we were up and down the Royal Mile. I think we actually stopped in at that restaurant for a drink.
Oh, amazing.
I'm pretty sure we did.
So it's not that weird.
Yeah, I think that's pretty weird.
Small world.
It's a small
again.
world. Again, it's a small world, yeah. But yeah, no, the Fringe is great. The Fringe is fantastic. It really
I
is.
saw the what's their faces? Flight of the Conchords.
Oh.
Yes.
For the first time in Fringe, like 2002,
Yeah.
before they broke or
Yeah.
anything. They were just the funniest thing.
Yeah.
All the baguette songs and everything.
Oh,
it was
God.
so good.
No, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like we went to see I can't remember what the show was called, but it was like a bunch of acrobats. It was in Usher Hall, I think. It was a bunch of acrobats, and they had like big long sticks and stuff, and they were throwing each other it was not. They were from Australia. You know, they're all like obviously like tanks.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. The show was maybe like 2 hours, and we were like perfect seats right in the front row. And it was unbelievable. Yeah,
So
like
good.
throwing each other, doing backflips, like crazy handstands with like people holding you. Oh, it was awesome.
Crazy Australians.
I know, yeah, crazy Australians. I know, yeah. That's what they do for fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Right. So let's talk about your music. You have.
This is a music podcast.
Yes, this is a music podcast. Yeah. Sometimes we forget.
Yeah.
You have your LP. Your
I do, my
your
EP.
Your EP over there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Tell us about that EP.
Look at that
I
thing.
think it's pink.
Gorgeous.
Pink see-through. Love
Yeah.
it.
I'm so proud of it. It came about very quickly. I was lucky enough to get a cultural diversity grant from Edmonton Arts Council,
Nice.
and I recorded it in a week at Velveteen Audio in Edmonton. And that team there are just class. They're so good.
Yeah.
We just spent the week laughing, honestly, like, and just everything, like, the minute I met Brad Simons, who was the producer a few weeks before that, again, small world, found out we had a few friends in common and stuff. And you know when you just like meet someone and you're like, oh, I can rip the piss out of you.
Yeah.
No
Yes.
bother. And it was just like that from the beginning.
This guy here.
Perfect.
Yeah. Aye.
And it was just like that. And then by the time we got to Thursday, Friday of the week recording, everything had descended into dirty jokes and just the worst toilet humor. And it was just so
And that's
good.
what's on the vinyl.
That's it.
It's not music. It's all just roasting.
But the music came out amazingly. Like it just, and there's an amazing fiddle player on it called John Calverley, and I had a bit of misfortune because my fiddle player had quit about a month before we were due to record.
Oh no.
And every other fiddle player in the city was booked out, and John came along just at the nick of time, and he's just a demon.
Yeah.
Like he just came in one day and just laid everything down. Each song was done in about 3 takes, and
Wow.
at one point there's a song on this called Linen, and it's the only one that hasn't been released as a single. And he was warming up to get ready for it. And like myself and Brad Simons, the producer, and Ronder Lynn, the engineer, were sitting in the control room just watching this guy and falling apart laughing. We couldn't get over how good this guy was on his warm up. We're like, just hit record, hit record.
This is gold. This is
Yeah,
gold.
it was amazing.
Get this.
And I think we wanted him to do a solo for Pandora in the center of the song, and there is one there. But he just did this like minute and a half take of like, what do you think of this? And he just went off on one.
Wow.
And we were like, this is too good to like comp and chop up and do. So it just became a track of its own
Yeah.
in the center of the EP. So there's this amazing,
Wow.
gorgeous like fiddle intro into Linen. And it sets the stage so well for that song because it's a pretty sad story behind the song. And yeah, it's just beautiful. It's so haunting. It's gorgeous.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's really that's an awesome story. Yeah, bringing in a session guy and he's just unbelievable,
Killed
and you
it.
end up like just like putting that in,
Yeah.
putting his warm up in, I guess,
Yeah.
That's
nuts.
crazy.
That's unbelievable. Wow.
It's his EP now.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
I had no
Thanks, John.
choice. It's,
That's insane. So have you worked with him since this EP?
Yeah, he played a warm-up show or like a fundraiser show I played in my house about a month later to raise money to get me to Toronto to go out and do the same CMI course that Jeff Turner did. And he and his band played with us that night in my house, and it was just a class night. So John played with us there, and yeah, I've been trying to get him back on gigs ever since, but he's a hard one to pin down. But we're going to be working together on the long record, the LP now.
Nice.
In the next couple of months, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
That's
and,
awesome.
and that's a good segue to talk about your new album that's coming out. I
He's
know.
learning.
Segue. Yeah, I'm getting good at that. Yeah, so tell us about this new project that you have coming out.
It's the debut record, and I just got some funding from X929 as well for
Nice.
recording it. So thank you.
Yeah, you're good at getting grants. We need to talk to you about getting grants. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been really lucky. So that's been wicked. So I've just been spending all of lockdown writing. I have a title in my head, working title for the record, and I don't really know what it's going to be. It's going to be more of the same. And I've been doing lots of co-writes with people and that kind of thing. So
Okay.
it's due to come out in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Fantastic. So do you know like the message of the album yet, or is it just like a sort of a mishmash of stuff just now?
I think it's going to be leading off of the track on this, Fire,
Okay.
which is the A side to the pink translucent limited edition vinyl.
Plug.
But yeah, I think it's probably going to be looking at substance abuse and the dichotomy between different cultures' perspectives of what is regarded as the line into abuse or culturally accepted. Because yeah, it's a hard line to walk, I found, emigrating and living my normal life, and then just like comparing to my new peers. I'm like, this isn't normal behavior. Well, it is for me. So yeah, I don't know. There was like a couple of dark periods that I'm just still kind of working through, kind of thing. So it's probably going to be something along the lines of like flipping from one extreme to the other. So I think the music's going to turn out quite interesting, actually. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to hear it. Yeah, we really can't wait to hear it.
I can't wait to write it. I can't wait to hear it either.
Hurry up.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Wait, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
Yeah, just waiting.
Go.
Come on.
Just on the couch in the same t-shirt. You
Yeah.
should maybe consider showering while you wait.
Oh,
Nope.
That'll be the new photo, actually, of the album art. That'll just be you guys.
Dirty,
9
smelly.
months from now, the white t-shirts have faded to like this off yellow.
All have the same amount of facial hair. Ben will have a beard down to here.
yeah, I'll braid it. It'll be just like
Perfect.
skin and bone.
Yeah.
It's not going to take me that long to write it. Holy shit.
Have some faith.
Please, hurry up.
I'm not eating. It just turns into this really weird last scene from, have you seen The Secretary? Have you seen that film?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
think I've
man,
seen
with
that.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
All right.
Yeah, it's this weird, like, kinky thing. Yeah, you gotta watch it. But it
Yeah,
turns into this
that's-
last, like, standoff scene where she's just like, I'm going to prove my love for you, and she's sitting there in a wedding dress for days at a writing desk, and it's just
Wow.
we need to reenact that.
Yeah,
we
you can wear
absolutely
the wedding
do.
dress.
I will. I have one.
You have a wedding dress?
Yeah.
Where?
Upstairs in my closet. I try it on sometimes.
Yeah.
My brain's going 90. I can't get a thought out.
Slowly back out of
That's
the
not.
basement.
That's not what I wanted to hear this early in the
I
morning.
just wanna
I think
see
I'm
it.
gonna go. Yeah.
It was lovely meeting you, Chiriba.
He's prepared for all possible outcomes.
Yeah.
It's good.
You have to be. You have to be. I see here that you played South by Southwest, which it's a dream of mine to go. How was it?
I don't remember much of it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that was great. It was crazy. That was with my last band that was based in Calgary,
Right.
Burning Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
And we went down there, I think with the same idea that everybody else had. Like, we didn't bring our instruments with us. We were like, oh, we'll just, rent them when we get there.
Right.
Everyone had the same idea. So we
Right.
got like the last bass in the city. And same thing for guitars. And so we showed up at the venue, and the drum kit wasn't there. And our drummer in that band, all our drummers had this habit of breaking themselves. And our drummer was off getting surgery or recovering from surgery or something. So we had like this like stand-in drummer who would come down, and we arrived at the venue. There's no drummer, or there's no drum kit. And we're like, well, we
jeez.
have this standing drummer with us, and like what? And like,
no.
and
to
they're like,
beatbox.
yeah, sorry, they didn't get the memo. We'll bring it tomorrow. We're like, well, we're not playing tomorrow.
What?
Well, we'll give you an extra
Jeez.
set. We're like, okay, great, that'd be fantastic. So the first night we did it kind of stripped down as a trio, and then the next night then we did it. But they also had like an open bar, and the dirty martinis were like free poured, and it was just annihilation. It was
Yeah.
wonderful.
It was fabulous.
It was great.
That's,
It was
that's when
great.
That's awesome.
That's when it gets dangerous,
Yeah.
It's the first city I've ever been in though, where like you pull up outside a venue, and you're looking for parking, or like this is the loading zone, you're going to be towed, and you're like, oh, just let me get my gear in the venue and then tow me, like whatever.
Tell me, I don't
But
care.
there's actual like road signs that are like musician offload zone, do not
Oh.
park here.
Okay.
It's so great. We're like, oh,
That is awesome.
the city recognizes us.
100%, yeah. I
Yeah.
have made it.
Yeah, totally. My own parking sign. I'm a legitimate. Yes.
Think you'll find I'm allowed to park here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain I brought this with me.
I'm offloading my equipment.
But you know what was the craziest though? Do you know a band from Calgary called? They've changed their name since, but they used to be called Viet Cong.
I've heard the name. I've heard of Viet Congs.
So I worked with I think the lead singer or the bass player from that band, and so we were both down in both down in South by that year, and we were doing our own thing, and he was in a bar, and he was like, oh no, it must have been maybe the year after, but anyway, he was down there, and he and his mate were in a bar, and they're like, oh, should we go next door? They were bar hopping, and they're like, we'll stay here for one more before we go next door. So they did, and 5 minutes later, a car drove in the window of the bar that they were
way.
about
Oh
to
my
walk into.
Gosh.
Wow.
There was this crazy maniac who drove all the way down the center street of South by, and into the venue next door to him.
It's probably that driver that drove into the ditch.
Oh
Isn't it?
man,
It's the
It's a
same
motorcycle
driver.
guy.
Maybe.
Motorcycle guy.
maybe.
Oh my god.
You know what? And
That's
that's not the
messed up.
first time either. I seen like, when you're driving out of Calgary, well, you don't know. You haven't been to Edmonton yet.
I don't know.
But you know, Ben,
Yes.
when you're driving out of Calgary
Yeah.
up north and you're just passing the airport. Well, you'd know the airport exit,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so I was just passing the exit, and there's like a big grassy hill just there.
Mm-hmm.
Grassy knoll.
And I was like, what is that car? A
Oh,
car
God.
drove over the ledge of the hill and down the grass into the ditch, up and over QE2 and into the other ditch and
Yeah.
crashed.
And crashed. And then crashed.
I was like, what am I watching?
After all that, you'd think you know what? They've got a handle on this.
Yeah.
It's not the safest thing to be doing, but they seem to be. Oh, no.
No, he crashed.
I
He
think it
crashed.
looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Damn.
Off-roading didn't work for you today,
Yeah.
sir.
That's crazy. You have some good driving stories.
I do.
There's a whole album right there.
Oh man, do you know what? Actually,
Driving album.
that's
QE2. That's the title.
Hell on
Drive in the
wheels.
ditch.
It's a lot of songs about driving in the ditch and then crashing
It's just gonna be me, my guitar, and fiddle. I think
Yeah.
that will fit well.
all at the same time.
Yes,
to
yes,
represent the chaoticness of
Mayhem.
Yeah. Absolute crazy.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That's fantastic. So you said you were a part of a band. When did you decide to go solo?
Probably towards the end of that band, I was
Towards the
getting
end
a
of that
couple of
band.
prods from people to go
Okay.
solo. I'd always wanted to go solo. Do you know
Yeah.
that? Like when I moved out to Alberta, my intention was to be solo. And I was for about a year.
Uh-huh.
And then I just love collaborating with people. And so I was never a skilled musician. I was never able to play an instrument really till maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow.
And so I always needed other people to like help me finish songs and that. So when I first moved out to Alberta, and like a week after moving here, I was like really bored of looking for jobs. So I went on Craigslist and I was like, oh, let's look at the musicians classified. And there was this company that was looking for submissions, an artist development company out of Vancouver. And I sent my thing off. I was like, whatever. And they're like, yeah, we'll take you. I'm like, oh, okay. So they're like, yeah, so 2-year contract, and you'll get 2 Western Canadian tours and a record out of it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Sure.
Sign me up.
So
Yeah.
I need a band then? He was like, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh.
So it was wicked. Like, it's like just baptism of fire into the Calgary local musician scene and
Yeah.
try and find
Wow.
a band. So that was wicked. So I had initially like signed up as a solo artist through that.
Uh-huh.
And then the band formed and became its own thing. So, and then in the meantime, I had a horrendous car accident in Calgary and had all this like jaw injury stuff, and my voice was wrecked, and went up to Edmonton to go to jazz college to try and like get over some of the vocal issues I was having. And just slightly before going there, like I had the seed planted in my head hardcore. And just went from there really. Like the band kind of fell apart because I was in Edmonton, they were in Calgary, so it's hard to keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so it was this natural progression from there.
Wow.
It's about 2 years.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
No looking back.
No, actually. I really love playing with a band, but when you're running it, it's so much easier just as a single entity.
Of
you know?
course, yeah, of course. Because you need to organise rehearsals, people's schedules and stuff, you know.
Yeah, and I don't mind that so much, but it's everything else around it, like, you know, just like doing off the cuff shows here and there instead of relying on bandmates, even just to accompany me, because I was a singer before. And so I wouldn't even be able to say yes to a gig unless someone was available to come with me. Like, so
yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's easier.
So you've only been playing guitar for 3-4 years? Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
I'm insane. So
I'm fucking crazy.
not like amazing, but just loopers. Like, so I finished that course in Edmonton, and I'd been waffling about going solo for so long. I guess everyone was getting sick of listening to it. And so the Blind Beggar had like their singer-songwriter showcase, and I was unaware of it. And 2 separate people online tagged me, and they're like, they need more performers like Liz, like come on the fuck. I'm like, okay. So I got in touch with him, and I was like, okay, what is the latest date I can possibly do this thing? And he was like, a month from now. I'm like,
You got
sold.
Sorry.
And I didn't play guitar at the time. And so I had been doing some like co-writes with people. And so I had like 2 songs written with them. And thankfully I had it recorded. And I was like, right, I need to learn how to play guitar. And it was a singer-songwriter showcase. So the point of it was to play original music. And then you had to take a cover and do your own artistic interpretation. It couldn't
Right.
just be legit cover. So I was like, okay, here we go. We've got a month to work this out. I write some songs and do it. So I
God.
did that. And it was a total dog's dinner, obviously. But I did it. And then, so that was like maybe October. went home for Christmas and was on my way home, and my best friend was like, look at, sick of listening to you bang on about like going home to Ireland where you have all your connections, like to do a tour for the last 10 years since you've been in Calgary or Canada. Like, time to get your shit together. I'm like, okay, fine. So I booked a return flight to Dublin 6 months later, and I was like, right, I'm doing a 2-week UK Ireland tour in 6 months.
Wow.
So I didn't even have any demos recorded or anything. So it was like 6 months of like building everything my band had in the 5 years previous and trying to book that myself. So I haven't done it since. Low-key PTSD from that experience. Like, it was pretty stressful.
Wow, yeah.
But it was great crack though, and I met some amazing musicians through, like, Glasgow was my first show, and then Edinburgh, and
Yeah.
I've like just horror stories from Edinburgh again.
I get, yeah.
But
where did you play in Glasgow?
Played the Box.
Oh, the Box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the Box.
Yeah.
Oh, what a place.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss the Box.
The Box is great.
It's a good venue. It's a small venue,
It
but
is,
you know,
yeah.
but it's good.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice for me. It was good. Good.
Yeah. I know
Cut
that.
my teeth.
I know the bar staff there, and do you know a band called Father Son? They're from Glasgow. 3-piece.
Father, son.
Father Son.
I think they were on my night.
Yeah.
I think they played with me that night.
Father Son. Yeah, like the front man Ross has like big long hair and beard and stuff, glasses.
Okay. There was one band that didn't show.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at the pictures.
Yeah.
But that sounds really familiar. Or else I was talking to them, trying to get them on the night. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know the name for sure.
But so Ross, the front man, my Father Son, always does like open mics at the Box and stuff, and his band, our Father Son, and they're an unbelievable band.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal singer as well, like pitch perfect.
Oof.
Like, but it's pretty crazy. But yeah, 3-piece, drummer, guitar player, singer, and bass player. And I think they all sing as well, and I think they have a session keyboard player come in. But they're a great Scottish band. You should check them out. Yeah,
Nice.
fantastic.
So I want to talk about the vinyl one more time because I feel like you could probably buy that on your website. Yes.
Yes.
You certainly
can. Where else can we find you online?
You can get me on Spotify,
Oh.
on Bandcamp, everywhere else. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter the odd day.
All
Yeah.
zero.
Zero.
Stella.
Yeah,
Stella.
so 0Stella, because I'm a big zero waste advocate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big fan of like one word names like Share
Like,
and
yeah.
Garbage and
Nice.
all that. So yeah. So that came from a PJ Harvey song actually.
Awesome.
Oh Stella. But yeah, so it's got to be a 0 though if you want to find me.
Yeah.
Zero.
Got to put that 0 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Love it.
Well, we're gonna wrap up because we've done a lot of talking.
We have
Lots
done
of
a lot of talking.
Let's hear some tunes.
Yes, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
me,
thank
Ben
you.
and Ben.
Ben squared.
Hey, thanks for watching that full episode of YYC Basement Sessions. We hope you're enjoying all the music.
Yes, please follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that bell to get notifications from us.